All right, let's start with the big story that we're tracking at this hour, where color trends come and go from red carpets every year, but none is likely to have the same impact as the wave of black that Hollywood turned up in at the 75th Annual Golden Globe Awards. Now, in a coordinated protest that has been organized by the we-called anti-harassment coalition Time's Up, post the Weinstein Hollywood protested sexual harassment and also called for equal representation.
I think that men on these sorts of occasions, this is pretty much the uniform. I think it's a statement and it's a stand of solidarity with lots of women around the world who, and most women actually, I'd say, as we're half the human race, who have been subjected to sexual harassment or violence or abuse in any way at all. So it's not a fashion statement, it's a solidarity statement.
Yeah, we are united, you know.
I'm wearing black tonight, as we all are, to support the Time's Up movement and the legal defense fund that we're raising money for, and to help victims of abuse. And you just realize how powerful we can be when we all stand together.
I think it's incredibly important. I think that the status quo has been revealed most recently to be no longer acceptable, and I think a rebalancing of power is necessary.
All right, so that is what many of the people who turned up at the Golden Globe Awards had to say. They all wore black. They said it is not a fashion statement. It is a statement of protest against the widespread, rampant sexual harassment that takes place within the industry. They said there's a lid on it because women so far had not felt brave enough to come out and speak. It all broke out once there were allegations of sexual harassment that had been leveled against media mogul Harvey Weinstein, where women such as very successful women in Hollywood, such as Gwyneth Paltrow, Kate Beckinsale, Lizette Anthony, amongst 50 other women who came out and said that, look, we were preyed upon. This is an industry which has a lot of dark secrets, and it is now time for women to, in fact, speak up. And post this, there was also this Time's Up campaign, which was also initiated, where over several artists came together. They set up a fund of about $13 million to provide aid in terms of legal aid and also financial aid for anyone who comes forth and speaks out against the sexual harassment that they may have faced as a part of their work culture. And that, of course, is a statement that has been made by all of these artists who've turned up at the Golden Globe Awards. They've worn black, not as a fashion statement, but to try and, of course, send out the message that this is something that is no longer acceptable. This is also something that has to stop. And there was also this widespread campaign immediately after some of these top A-listers of Hollywood came out and said that, look, we have been sexually abused. A lot of women around the world came out and said, Me Too. The Me Too campaign started just to show the scale of this problem, no matter where the woman is, what her social standing is, in which profession. Everyone would have at some point of time or the other would have faced this rampant problem. So the Golden Globe Awards is of course one of the big award ceremonies that is taking place in the aftermath of this big scandal. And for more on this, we're joined in by my colleague Sejal Pandey from the newsroom. Sejal, it's interesting that the A-listers of Hollywood, they're in fact coming out and speaking about this problem that has existed for a very long time. Everyone spoke about it in the past, but they said that, look, it is only some of these rotten apples who may have indulged in sexual harassment. But now the scale of the problem is out in the open, and that, of course, is what is now being spoken about.
Absolutely, Saleh. This problem has been out in the open for a very long time, ever since the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke out. It led to a lot of others, a lot of other men, especially the ones with power at the helm of Hollywood, being named for harassment. There were skeletons that fell out of Hollywood's closet. There was Kevin Spacey that was named. There was David Hoffman that was named. Many other big names were named post-Weinstein. The post-Weinstein scandal, and this is, in fact, the first big ceremony, first big Hollywood awards. This is, in fact, the advent of the Hollywood awards this year, which starts with the Golden Globes every year in January and goes up till March, when it finally ends with the Oscars, and the entire Hollywood fraternity has taken this ceremony as momentum to bring about condemnation of sexual harassment, of sexual abuse. They've also kick-started a campaign called Time's Up, where more than 300 Hollywood leading ladies have come together to form an anti-harassment coalition where they will campaign for pay parity. They will campaign against sexual harassment and abuse. There is a fund that has run up to $13 million already. A fund has been collected for women to, help with legal proceedings against harassment victims, for abuse victims. The Time's Up coalition is also, backing up this all-black movement at the Golden Globes this year, and socially conscious as these awards are, is expected to add this consciousness to the upcoming awards. What we can see from the award ceremony this time is, especially at the red carpet, there were many who spoke against harassment, men and women included. So great times for Hollywood, great times for coming up out in the open against harassment and abuse, which has existed for decades. Harvey Weinstein abused women, abused many great actresses who've won Oscars. He's promised Oscars to many actresses who've also gone on and won those Oscars, but behind those Oscars were knocks at their hotel rooms. There was constant bullying, there was constant abuse, which is now out there in the open, and Hollywood is fighting it with all guns blazing.
Absolutely, indeed. And that of course, is one of the big focus, even as these Golden Globe Awards take place. And also, Sejal, tell us a little about the big winners of the night. What's happened in terms of the awards themselves?
Well, I'd like to start with the biggest win, not in terms of categories, but in terms of the sentiment. Sterling K. Brown, he's been nominated for the second time in the Best TV Series Drama category. He's won the Golden Globe for the first time.
Right.
In this category, in fact, he's the first Afro-American to win this award, the Best Actor award in the TV Drama category. Other big winners, of course, would be Oprah Winfrey, who took away the Lifetime Achievement Award, the Cecil B. DeMille. Nicole Kidman, again, Best Actress in a Limited Series. She also won the Emmy earlier this year for the same role. Surprise wins coming in for the movies. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri has been adjudged as the best film, which wasn't really expected. Going by the early leads. Early leads were taken by Lady Bird. And of course, Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water. So these were the big expectants in the movie category, but 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri has won that award. And Handmaid's Tale, in fact, has won the Best Drama TV Series, again an Emmy winner. Not a surprise at all, even though it's not a very old show. It's just a couple of months old. Just a month after coming out, Handmaid's Tale won its first Emmy. So took the early lead this year with winning the Emmy. Does not come as a surprise. So 2 big winners, the Emmy winning Handmaid's Tale, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and of course Sterling K. Brown, Oprah Winfrey, and Saoirse Ronan also for Best Actress for Lady Bird.
Absolutely indeed, Sejal Pandey. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and getting us all those updates.